All right, guys, we are back with some more family drama. Um, I don't know if I told you guys, but I did share a letter with you guys that my sister had written to me because I have cut off communication due to narcissistic behaviors. My family structure it was a narcissistic family structure where I was the scapegoat. I was always the one that was causing the issues. I was always the one that was, people just could never understand my point of view. They could never wrap their heads around why I was mad. And that it was just always a dismissive, shitty environment. Where nobody ever apologized, nobody ever acknowledged the shit they did to each other, myself included. Like up until recently, I just cut people out of my life and just never offered up explanations, or I never gave second chances. So my sister wrote me a letter, and I pondered on that letter for a good week before I could even gather my thoughts to respond, because I was so mad. Not even like, it's not that I'm like actively upset and like I spend my time thinking about this, because I do not. Absolutely, I don't. I spend my time grateful for my environment that I'm in currently. I spend my time, doing things that bring me joy and that are productive in my home life. I don't, like, the only time I wallow on things is when I'm making videos, is because I want to, there's so many of us who are going through this exact same situation, and I just want to put it out there. One, I want to document. Two, I want to put it out there so people can relate and not feel alone. And so the way my sister is, she's very dismissive. She's like, she doesn't want to talk about the hard things. She acts like she does, but then as soon as you bring it up, like as soon as I bring up, so the way I formatted that letter to her is I did, here's the reasons why, and I spelled it out, and I made it as clear as I possibly could. I used very direct, precise language so that my point could not be misconstrued. Because that's what she likes to do. She likes to, I don't know, I can't really understand where you're coming from. Like, your point of view is so, like, this is what she does to me, okay? She, like, your point of view is so crazy and, like, bizarre that I can't even, like, put myself in your shoes to understand, like, why you're mad. And, like, I'm doing that voice because that's how it makes me feel. Like, that's how it feels like she's talking to me. And, like, that's her energy, And I was like, so I spelled it out plain as day. Why? I said, and I numbered my points. There was like 6 or 7 points that I had. One, she is actively, I don't know what kind of relationship it is, but it seems, and the vibes I get are like she is forming some kind of romantic attachment to one of my mom's abusers. So this man killed some guy. He is in prison in Seward, Alaska for, like, indefinitely, okay? He is a murderer. He's crazy. Like, he used to beat my mom up when I helped fight him off when I was 7. Like, that is one of my core memories, unfortunately, is fighting him off from trying to kill my mom or beat my mom up. And it was a traumatic experience, and she has been writing letters and forming a relationship with this man, and trying to, when I went up there, she tried to convince me that he was a good person and that he was just misunderstood and that he just needed somebody to be there for him. And I'm like, Dorothy, like, have you lost your ever-loving fucking minds, And she clearly has, because And I even that was one of my points I brought up to her. I said, how can you, just like our own mother, who is harboring and supporting and, you know, being there for our abuser, my brother, who abused her and me when we were children, just like our mother, she's harboring a connection with somebody who abused my mother. So it's like, how you cannot claim to love and care for people and respect that relationship that you have with that person if you actively have a relationship with somebody else that hurt them. You cannot do both. I'm sorry. Morally, that's corrupt. Morally, that's fucked. And I brought that up to her. She is on some medications that I don't agree with, and she claims to be drug-free, but she forgets. She acts like being prescribed by a doctor makes it all free and clear. Yeah, you're legal. You're doing that. What's legal doesn't mean it's right. Doesn't mean you're sober. So we're going to read this letter because it's so dismissive, and I want to show you guys. Okay. So my letter was like 4 or 5 pages long, right? Jennifer, your letter was very unexpected, and I can't say I understand at face value. I do still and always will care. I love you no matter what, and I'm always willing to talk. Should your perspective or stance on this relationship or lack thereof change. So she doesn't want to talk about my current perspective, but if it changes and I somehow want to be her, with former relationship, she's okay with that, but she doesn't want to actually talk about why our relationship is non-existent right now. Like, she doesn't want to talk. That's what I'm saying. She doesn't want to talk about it. At the risk of being presumptive, it seems like you're pretty hurt by some things I said or did along the way. Yeah, you think? I've made many mistakes, so I can't say exactly what made you feel the way you do. I plainly spelled it out again. Clear as day, numbered my points 1 through 7. Clear as day. I told her exactly why I am not keeping a relationship with her. And this is what she sends back. I can't say it. I respect your decision to not have a relationship, but to paint me as toxic is plain silly, is it? I'm very understanding and open to whatever criticism or anger you have to share, or, not. I shared. I don't know how many times I have to reiterate, or I should reiterate, or I want to reiterate. I made it plain as day. Either she didn't read the letter, or she actively told herself something different than to what I actually said. Okay? I won't do anything but pray for your family and you. Wish you happiness and joy. Love you. Godspeed, mate. Brilliant. What the hell is she talking about? P.S. You completely misconstrued my intentions. I am trying to be a part of your life because I genuinely do care and love you. I'm not living in the past, but that doesn't mean it's meaningless. I pray that you are willing to hear me and really want to build a healthy relationship, but I understand if that does not change. Again, when I showed you guys that first letter from her, she flip-flops. She says 2 opposing points of view back to back. I want this relation. She wants, see how, I don't know if you guys can see it, but I can see it. She wants me to be open and willing to see where she's coming from. But she will not give me the time of day to understand and take in my point of view. That I should have like copied now from now on, if I ever do any kind of communication, I'm copying it for my own protection. So the next time people say, I can't understand what the hell you're talking about, I don't know where you're coming from, blah, 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 I can just refer back to what I had already said. Because it's getting so exhausting. This is why I don't deal with these people. Like, she doesn't want to talk about hard things. She doesn't. She just wants me to acknowledge that things are hard. That's not what I want to do. Like, I've already acknowledged it. Hello, that's why we're not talking. And like, for you to like be this way, how you're like, just like trying to, it's just disgusting. It's totally disgusting, because she is not willing to have a healthy relationship, obviously, because she can't even respond to the plain points of view that I gave her as to why I'm not talking to her. And, for her to say that she misconstrued me, or I'm the one that misconstrued her, and she, all this stuff where it's like she's trying to flip like our reactions. Like, she's trying to make it seem like she's the one who's, totally clear-headed and has the correct point of view. It's like, I'm not trying to be correct. Okay? That's what I hate trying to, like, you can't form a relationship with somebody who is constantly just wanting to be correct, just wants to be right. They don't care about anything else. They just want to be seen as like in this one particular light, and that's it. Like, and pray for me. She's going to pray for me. Like, what good is that going to do? And I hope my mother sees this, and I hope she shows this to her, because it's so sickening. And she'll get her wish this time, because I will not respond anymore. And any further mail that comes to my house from her will just get sent back unopened, because that's how, from here on out, that's how I'm going to, I should have been approaching things that way, honestly, for my own sake, but talking with you guys helps me process my emotions, so I don't feel angry and like all these icky feelings in my own head, because I don't want to live that kind of life. I am happy for the most part. Yes, I have my days. We are all human. We all have our days and our moments, but you have to be willing to like drop all the ego and drop your need to be correct, and just like, if you really want to have a relationship with somebody, especially me, you have to approach it from that. Like, because if you're not good with yourself, if your shit is all fucked up in your own head, and you have no self-respect, and you have no integrity, and you have no backbone, like, me and you won't get along, because I will call it out, because I can't, and I'm not doing it to shame anybody. I always do it because, like, you can't change anything that you don't know. Like, if you're unaware of something about yourself, how can you change that? How can you be better? Like, you know what I mean? And I can't help but like see that in people, like see where the things, and obviously I stay by myself. I stay to myself for a reason. But if you're dealing with toxic family members, just be strong and know that you're doing the right thing when you are protecting your peace. Not all relationships need to continue. You do not have to betray yourself and betray your morals and your boundaries and, your values as a human, as a person, to have a relationship with somebody. You should not have to do that. You should not have to constantly argue with yourself, whether this is right or wrong, or always being agreeable when you want to say no. Like, those are the things that quickly breed resentment and bad feelings. And that's not my life. So I love you all. Be strong, and I'll talk to you again soon.